need special need, probably based on the behavior in the class, based on their academic performance. You identify the students who actually need special needs.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kanis ma'am. Okay. So I think teachers are not in mood to respond, so we'll continue. Okay, so this is SEN and counseling policy. So our school also follows a policy for SEN. So we'll start that. Okay, SEN is nothing but the special educational need. Okay, and we cater the students who are academically weak, and the counseling itself is like explanatory, right? Like we deal with the emotional uh, and behavioral problem if the students are facing any such issues, and we are also helping teachers with this. So this is SEN. Who the students enroll in SEN? So basically, we have two types of students. If we talk about all the three branches, we have disabilities, students with learning disabilities, which covers autism, intellectual disability, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, visual or auditory impairment, and we also have learning difficulties, which are basically students in NKB and DS branch. So students with ADHD, slow learners, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, and dyspraxia. This all. Okay. So other than that, a small brief intro of this. See, when we talk about disabilities, they are like the students will be like they. When you see these kids, you will come to know कि हाँ, these students have some issues. They by looking at them, you can identify कि this child is facing some issues. Maybe their physical appearance will be different, and then mental capacity, obviously, it will be different. But when we talk about ADHD, slow learner, dyslexia, and all these learning difficulties, it is little challenging when we need to identify these kids because these kids, especially ADHD, you can identify this child will not sit at one place in the classroom. The child will be roaming around the class, and so we can identify if the child is hyperactive, but we have hypo also. So these kids are basically usually ignored. We cannot identify them. They will be sitting quietly in the class, and the teacher must be feeling this is one of the most sincere child in my class, but the child may be lost somewhere. Okay, and then we have slow learners, and dyslexia is nothing but the students who have issues with language. So especially in India, we have students who face difficulty with English language while writing, or you can say in younger kids, like when the students are 2 years or 3 years, when they are in pre-primary schools. So writing BD is a confusion, writing M and W is a confusion, writing nine is confusion. They write reverse three. So all this teachers can make a note of this, and then dyscalculia is nothing but the difficulty in math. So maybe the child is not necessary. If the child is identified with learning disability difficulty, it is not necessary that the child must be having all these symptoms. Child must be good in English, but the child may face difficulty in math. Doing simple addition, subtraction is also a challenging task for the child. Dysgraphia is basically with the handwriting. So this the child doesn't know how much space should be kept while writing a word. What is the distance should be maintained? If the child is writing in a paper, maybe the child starts from first line, but the sentence end to second line or third line. They cannot judge the uh, this writing space, like whatever space is allotted to them. And then dyspraxia is the child is bumping here and there. So the child doesn't have the knowledge of how to we can say how much distancing is important. The child finds difficulty with that. I hope all teachers are with me.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. Huh. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so now how SEN is working in our school. Okay, so we are basically working in collaboration with teachers. So it's not that everything is done by SEN department. Okay, we need help from class teachers, subject teachers, specialists, and so we throughout the year these are the main highlights. When Murtuza sir will run you through the policy, he'll tell about all this in details. So we do counseling. We have safety sessions for children where we cater fire safety, road safety. We have good touch, bad touch sessions. Then we have health screening and hygiene. So we call doctors who will be doing health monitoring for our kids. But unfortunately, last year we were not able to do this. Then we have nutrition session. We called some nutritionist, and she will take session for both the all three campus, and they'll give how they can. The nutritionist will give advice for what to eat and how they can inculcate good habits in students. Then we have value education and life skills. So many sessions are taken in DS for this. Then we have career testing, which is done for grade 9 students, and then we do career counseling. So we have collaboration with various other departments also, and the concerned team comes and they'll do this session. Okay, now then what special educators in our school are doing. Okay, so in SEN we help students who are identified with learning difficulties. Okay, so to diagnose the child, how to enroll the child in this SEN department, because it is very easy for anyone to label the child in SEN, which we doesn't want. So we have certain filtering concept. So after that only we'll enroll the child into SEN. We have certain strategies. First, the class teacher need to identify the child, and if the class teacher notice there is some problem with any child, the class teacher will approach us that some child is facing some issue or whatever it is. So where the counselor and the class teacher or a subject teacher will have a discussion, and then we ask class teacher or subject teachers to just keep the record of certain things, like if they need to change in certain strategies, whether the child is engaging that way and whether the child is able to understand through that or not, and they need to keep the record of it. Okay, like for example, if I say if teacher is teaching a concept in the class through um, lecture method, okay, and if she feels that the child is always not engaged in this process, then the teacher need to change, make it some multi-sensory learning, and then if the child is participating or whether child is still not participating, so they have to keep that track. Okay, and then we'll give them NIPIT forms which we have on our drive. So teacher need to tick what are the concerns she is observing in the child. So the teacher will tick that diagnostic checklist and she'll forward us. After that, the class teacher need to speak to the parent that we are finding that your child is facing certain issues, and if you permit us, we'll take the help from SEN department. So a parent need to sign the consent for that. Once the parents sign the consent, then counselors, like we will do the assessment for the child, educational assessment, and if needed we can refer the child for some other assessments also, like IQ or any other assessments, whichever is needed. Then after doing the assessment, if we feel that the child is really facing some issues, then we'll prepare a report based on the assessment which we have done, and the assessment will be a standardized tool. So it is not like we are creating our own assessment. So based on that, we'll generate a assessment report, and then we will also make the IEP based on the requirement of the child. And this IEP will be shared with class teachers and parents. Okay, and then usually
for the benefit of new teachers, just tell them what IEP is in a very few sentences.
Yes, IEP, thank you, Murtuza sir. It's IEP is individual educational plan. So like, see, we know that each and every child is different. So based on that, if, for example, if I am doing assessment of two child, one child is good at spelling, but he is poor at writing sentences and all, but the other child needs support for spelling. So based on the needs of that children, we'll make the IEPs, whatever requirements is it. IEP will have long term goals and short term goals, and we'll try to achieve it by the end of the year. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And okay, thank you. And then we have pull out and push in sessions. Unfortunately, last year we were not able to do this, but pull out sessions we were doing this, but push in is like push in sessions are nothing but we go in the classroom and we sit in the class to observe our kids how they are performing in the class, whether they are able to understand, and based on that we also speak to the teachers, like maybe if you are bilingual, it will benefit our child, or if you are asking simple questions, you can ask our child to just build a confidence in the child that way. So it is a healthy discussion and it is healthy observation. We are not observing how teacher is teaching, we are just observing how our children are participating in the class. So please teachers, if we are coming for push-in sessions, please don't feel that we'll give some feedback to someone how you are teaching and we are observing you. So it's not like that. And it is part of timetable. So last year, because of virtual learning, we were not able to do this, but in regular setup, we do this. Okay, it's part of our service. Okay. Okay. So now, once the okay, now can anyone briefly tell me how the child is enrolled in SEN? Because everyone is so quiet, I am feeling like whether is everyone awake or they are doing their work?
Can you ask the question again, please?
Okay, so how the child enrolls in SEN?
May I?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Saima ma'am, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
If a child has some learning difficulty, or
Hmm.
class teacher refer to you.
Okay. Class teacher refers to me, and then the
Yeah,
child is
class teacher refers to you for some difficulty in language. I mean, in written language.
okay. 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 Thank you, Saima ma'am. Okay,
And
Amina
we
ma'am.
discuss, and we will discuss with the parents also about the child's condition.
Okay.
After that, we observe that first, observe the class teacher and the other teacher who is having the problem, and as well as you also observe the child. Then we will approach the parent with their concern. Then the child is being given the SEN classes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amina ma'am.
You're
Amina
welcome.
Farhat ma'am, you raised your hand.
Yeah, we have to first try our strategies, what we can do. We have to try different strategies. Then we have to submit the form. We have to referral form, which is on the drive.
Yes.
Then you will get back to us.
Yes, so teachers, see, this is very important. You need to use different strategies, because see, once we label the child that the child is having certain learning difficulty, or the child is in SEN, it is very easy to put the child in SEN, but it is very difficult for the child to take it as a, like, it is a challenge for the child. So it is very important that being a teacher, you try many strategies with the child, so that you come to know, okay, whether the child is facing difficulty with the pattern of what we are teaching, or it is really the child has some issue. So that is very important. Thank you, Amina ma'am, for getting that point. Okay. Okay. Then once the assessment is done, then we'll categorize the child. So basically we have three categories. We have category A, category B, and category C. Okay. So now I'll just give you a brief description about what is category A, B, and C. So till PH, we started our branch, PH branch, all students were in NKV and DS. But now category A students are in PH. So what the category A students are the diagnosed students with learning disabilities. Okay, so these students are like by birth, parents already know that the children have some issue. Okay, so the students with children with autism and the children with severe ADHD, maybe the students who cannot work without shadow teachers, they all fall under this category. So now PH has this category. Category A is in PH. Okay. And then we have category B. In category B, we have students with like if the child is 13 years
I
old.
just want to make one small clarification here.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. See, under category B also, the SEN department, see, every category, if you see, has been divided into SEN and remedial. Then SEN is inherent problems, and remedial is they have acquired the problem. That is the main differentiation between SEN and remedial. SEN means they have the inherent by birth they have these problems, and remedial is somehow they have acquired. That is the broader categorization. So the PH branch not only has SEN A and remedial A, but also SEN B. SEN B from category B, the SEN department also, the SEN students also go to PH. That's one clarification. So what is remaining with us is remedial B and category C.
Okay, so I think all teachers are clear with this. Okay, so category B students will be having learning gap. Okay, category
Learning gap. Okay.
yes. Okay, so like the child actual age is, for example, 13 years. Okay, but academically the child can perform up to the age of 9 years or 10 years. So there is a gap between his actual age and his academic age. So these students will be in category B and category C. So it depends on how much gap the child is having. Okay, and then we have category D. So are the students which are not in SEN, but just to keep a track, we keep this record. So all the class teachers need to keep this record. Category D students, these are medical cases, like for example the child is having asthma or the child is having any other illness, but the child is performing good in the class, he is not having any academic issues, but the child is having certain health issues which we should know, if the child is allergic to something. So all these records need to be like, it is like if it is a severe thing which every teacher should know, so we'll update this in our records so that it is very handy for everyone to access. Okay, then we have category E, which is for counseling. So we do counseling for all the kids, but if it is if the child within one counseling session, the child is behaving good and it was a small fight, then we will not put that child in category E. If the child needs continuous counseling, more than 2 or 3 sessions, then we'll put the child into category E. So there is some chronic issue which we need to address. Is it clear? Okay, I'm assuming that it is clear. Yes, thank you. Okay.
Sorry, Mumtaz, can I interrupt in between?
Yes, yes.
So, teachers, of course, the data has been compiled by the counseling department, and that will be shared with you. But other than that, on Monday and Tuesday, I think Monday or Tuesday, I'll call you, and you need to look at every student's file and identify what is the medical problem they have, what is the learning issue that has been mentioned in that file, and make a note of that. That's very important. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so these are 5 categories we have, and other than this, like I said, we are using same referral for counseling also. If you think that the child is not listening, if the child is like not behaving good in the class, still you cannot directly ask counselor to speak to the child. You need to fill the referral form, because we need to keep the track what we are doing with the child, how we are talking, what strategies we are using for the child's behavior and all. So for everything we'll share that link with you, and it is also there in our SEN policy. So you need to raise the referral for the child. Okay, so this is a crisp, we can say, in Purani. Yes.
Yeah, just wanted to know that the teachers need to I mean, they need to connect and bond with the child and then raise the referral, right? They need
Yes,
to talk out
yes,
the.
yes. First, they need to see for everything. First, the teacher can try. See, what happens sometimes the child is very cranky in the class and doesn't behave good, but maybe someone at home like was rude to the child, or maybe the child woke up very late and directly attend the class and he's hungry. So they are sometimes they are very minute things which are bothering the child, but yes, I'm not saying every time this happens. If the teacher is trying, we were having so many cases in our school who really need counseling, right? So for that cases, if the teacher feel like after trying so many things, I'm still feeling I'm helpless, I cannot manage the child, then definitely they can raise referral for counseling as well. Thank you, Amina ma'am, for bringing that to notice. Okay, and this is the CRISP actually. We have Purani Haveli branch where we have endeavor section. So send category A and B, and remedial A category is here. So remedial A category basically for NIO, and we also have a supporting system for NIOS. National Institution of Open Studies. So where the children can write exams and they can clear their 10th. So in NIOS, I don't know that much about NIOS, but the child need to opt certain
I will
subjects.
cover that.
Okay, okay, then Murtuza sir will cover it. And then in Noor Khan Bazaar and Darul Shifa, we have inclusive education where the child is sitting with all the students in the same classroom, learning same concept, but little extra efforts need to be put. So we have these cases in Noor Khan Bazaar and Purani Haveli. So now Murtuza sir will take you through the policy. If you have any other queries, you can ask or you can wait till end of the session. Thank you. So over to you, Murtuza sir.
Okay, Ms. Mumtaz, thank you very much. Uh, okay. Are you able to see the counseling policy screen now?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir, your email
Yeah, email Murtuza bhai, not the.
policy. Yes.
Okay, let me try once more.
Okay.
Ms. Mumtaz, have you stopped sharing?
Yes, sir, I'll stop.
Okay. Okay. Are you able to see the counseling policy now?
No, sir, it's just a blank tab.
Okay, no issues. Ms. Mumtaz, which option are you using? Entire screen, window, or tab?
No, tab.
Yeah.
Sir, you want me to share the screen? It's open in my laptop.
Yeah, please do share
Okay.
that. I don't know. It's behaving very weirdly.
Okay. So, okay. So now is it visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir. I'll scroll it. You just inform me.
Okay. Okay. 1 second. Let me.
Can you please zoom in?
Yeah. Let me
Yes,
give a
sure,
present.
sir.
Yeah. Can you zoom in, please?
Okay.
Yes, better. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. So, ma'am, can we quickly go down? Okay. So, see, the counseling policy for the ease and understanding has been divided into, very logical tables. We have tables and we have annexures. So, I would like to also inform you, and I'm very happy about this fact that our counseling policy has been accepted and approved with very nice words from the MYP IB consultant. So it is already approved. And thank you very much for everyone from the leadership and the teachers who helped us with the inputs. So, yeah, the first table that we have, if I can just see the title of the table, can you show the title of the table, Miss Mumtaz? Yeah, counseling curriculum for PYP or primary school. See, counseling curriculum is nothing but our plan of action of different sessions and programs and major events that are going to happen throughout the year. So that is all mentioned in the, all these things are mentioned in the curriculum, counseling curriculum for PYP primary school. That is table 1. So the major events that you can see here is health screening, nutrition session, safety session. Safety sessions, we have fire drill, that is a very major event, road safety, earthquake drill, and we also have good touch and bad touch uh, uh, child safety session. That is a very important and major session. Apart from that, we have various parenting sessions that are spread all over the year. Then we have bullying sessions to stop bullying or to cultivate the culture of harmony and kindness. So we take that session also. So these are some of the major highlights that we do. And if you look at the uh, table carefully, you can see the dates also. Of course, some dates are mentioned there with refer to 2020, that will be changed for the new academic year for 2021. And if you go below, the table 2 talks about the counseling curriculum for MYP or high school. Am I too loud? Because my voice was little low, so I am trying to speak
No,
little loud.
Mustafa bhai, Murtaza bhai, you're not loud.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much. So, if you look at the table 2, if you look at the table 2, counseling curriculum for MYP high school, it is same like the table number 1, but with some changes which are suitable for the higher grade students, for example, one major change that you will see is we will do career counseling, career testing. Such things are added in this calendar, and other content is also little mature for the higher grade students. Then we move to the table 3. Table number 3 has categorization. This is very important. Just to have an idea, we don't expect you to master all these facts, but just to have an idea how this scheme has been devised by Mr. Minaj. He suggested this actually chronology. So we have here category A, category B, category C related to education, related to general education. Category A, category B, category C. Category A means severe, category B is moderate, and category C is mild. That is the major difference. You don't need to get confused. Category A is severe, category B is moderate, and category C is milder educational. Everything is related to the educational performance or the day-to-day activities in the school. Whatever a child is supposed to do in the school, these categories are related to that. Severe means he is having severe impairments, moderate means he is having moderate impairments, and mild means he is having milder impairments, milder difficulties. When I say impairments, these are difficulties. So this is the general broader categorization. And inside each category A, B, C, not C, A and B especially, you see something called as SEN and remedial subcategories. There are subcategories in category A and B, and those are SEN and remedial. So what is SEN? SEN is nothing but inherent. He is born with that. Those things, he is born with neurological disorders, genetic disorders, whatever. He is born with that. And remedial is acquired. For example, a child has not gone to school or has gone to school, but he was promoted from PP1 till class 5th. There is no improvement. And he comes to the high school in class 6 and we see that he's not able to read and write. So that is an acquired difficulty. So we will suggest him to go to NIOS, for example. So because he'll not be able to cope up with the current grade, and at the same time, he has to catch up all the 5 grades from the previous year. So we will suggest him to do something which is meaningful and easier for him. So I hope I'm not confusing you. Category A is moderate, category B is no, category A is severe, B is moderate, and C is milder. Severities of impairments, of difficulties in education. Category D, as Ms. Mumtaz told, D and C. D is related to medical issues and C is for counseling. I will not hover over that area. Now I move to table number 4. When you go to table number 4, it looks like some kind of, an old video game. Why? Because if you click on annexure, you will go to annexure. And when you go to that annexure, you can again click back and come back to table number 4. So these are hyperlinks. So let me explain to you a brief about this table. Table number 4 is very important. You see in the title, you see a descriptor, then category A, B, C. So that how that descriptor applies to category A and category B and category C, how it applies to them. So for example, admission. So what are all the points that needs to be covered for category A? I'm not going to read all the points for you that you have to do. You have to go and you have to click on annexure 1. Then you will get a hyperlink. You click that and then you will directly go to annexure 1. Once you read all these points, you again click back to table 4 and again you will come back to the table number 4. So descriptor is admission. So how this admission rules and regulations and procedures apply to category A, category B, category C, you can find in annexure number 1. And for annexure number 1 category, you can see the points 1.1 to 1.4 applies. Okay. For B, only 1.1, 1.1, 1.4. And C, only 1.1 and 1.4. Rest other points do not apply for this category. Same refers to the enrollment channels. What are the enrollment channels? How a child gets enrolled in SEN? You can, for referral, you refer to annexure 2. Again, you have the hyperlinks. You click annexure 2, you go to annexure 2. And under annexure 2, again, you click the table number 4, you come back to table number 4. So we made it little easy for you. How referral process is for each category, how it will happen for each category. You can refer there. We have mentioned which points you have to read in those annexures. For example, I want to read the referral of category C. So I go to annexure 2 and I read only point 1.1. That's it. So that is the procedure for category C. Same with assessment. What type of assessment we will do? Same with induction. How induction happens? What are the criteria? Everything that you see, that you can go to each individual categories, tables, and annexures. So interventions. What interventions do we provide? We provide push in and pull out. Just to give you a brief about push in and pull out. Push in means we will go into the class and provide intervention to the child who needs. Pull out means we will pull out the child from his regular class, take him to our SEN class, give him a session, give him a... मैम आपका माइक ओपन है. anyways, we have been, what therapies do we provide internally, and what therapies do we suggest to go outside, everything, and what kind of accommodations that we provide. See, these send children with any category A, B, especially category A, SEN, and category uh, B, SEN, and remedial cases, they need some accommodations. They need some help with reading. They need some help, extra time. Maybe they need a easier paper or something. So those accommodations are provided here. Then reporting. How do we report the results after the examination or after the assessment? How do we report? So you can see that and in under reporting row, you can go to annexure 4 and read point 1.11 like that. Now from this table you see all annexures. Annexure number 1, annexure number, it is a very detailed and very logical transition. When you read annexure to annexure, you see that it is a very smooth and very easy. But it's not possible for me to read all the annexures here. Leave about the teachers, I will sleep myself here if I start reading here, so that is not possible. Mumtaz ma'am, can we quickly go to annexure 2 at the bottom? 2, annexure 2 bottom. Yeah, annexure 2 bottom. Yeah, after point 1. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Here you see that we have 3 hyperlinks. Miss Mumtaz told you about a NIEPID checklist. If you have a doubt and you want to refer a child, we give you this list. This is a hyperlink. You can click here and you can download that form and you can print it and use that checklist. It will tell you, it basically shows what milestones a child should achieve in that particular age. So if he is not able to do this, not able to add, not able to subtract, not able to do fractions, he's not able to read this, that, you have to fill that checklist. So that checklist is available here. Then parent consent form. Miss Mumtaz told parent consent must be taken by the class teacher. So this is the form that a class teacher can use. It is hyperlinked here. After that, the third hyperlink is counseling and SEN referral form. We need to add some sections here, but it is ready. You can already start using it once the classes are started. But with caution, because finding and identifying a SEN student in a normal class itself is a very big task. Leave about the online class. I'm not sure how we will do that, but again, if you see that persistently some child is having difficulties in submitting homeworks or participating or answering, then I think you can raise the referral or you can allow us to inquire. We will do that. Then
And sir, 1 minute, because see, sometimes even parents may contact you and ask you that the child is really facing problem or the child is showing temper tantrums at home. In that case, also, if you feel that the child should be referred to SEN department, we are always here to help you. So that's not an issue. So if you are getting any personal consent from parents also say stating that because of this online setup the child is really facing any issue, please you can refer that child as well.
yes, as Ms. Mumta said, you can refer those children. Apart from that, children who are facing difficulties in their personal life, for example, somebody passed out due to COVID in the family, the child is very, low and all. Such children can also be referred to us. We will call them and we will try to speak to them. PTSD cases, especially post-traumatic stress disorder, after a very life-changing event, everybody will go into this PTSD. So of course the children will also face that. In such conditions, we are here to help them. We can help them. So this annexure 3, please read out all these annexures carefully. You can read it. Annexure 3 is also interesting if you want to know what type of diagnostic tests we do. So just for a brief, I will tell few of the tests that we do. We do DTLD, that is called Diagnostics Test of Learning Difficulties. Then we do GLAD. See, we cannot do all the tests together for a child, we will select the most appropriate, then we will administer that test. Then we have Shonel reading, Shonel spelling, then we have Webman auditory discrimination test. Today a child from C5, he was in C5, she did not attend most of the FTF classes, and she did not write the assessment also. So some of those children like that, they are we are taking assessment. So I am taking the diagnostic assessment to see whether they are fit for class 6. So one child I tested today, and she has major, really severe and major gaps, and I called her mother tomorrow, and I will refer her to the Endeavor department. Believe me, this auditory discrimination test is a test wherein you tell two same words or similar words to the child, and the child has to tell whether those words are same or different. 98% to 95% of the children, they pass this test with flying colors, no issues. But today I saw that half of the uh, almost half of the test she performed incorrectly. So that means she's not able to nothing wrong with her ears, mind you. Does not have ENT issues. I think she has this auditory processing issues which happens inside the brain. We are not talking about the eardrum and all. Anyways, moving forward, we have this digit span memory test, very beautiful, very short, but you will get to know whether the child has, age appropriate short term memory. It is very necessary for, taking instructions and taking homework and taking, writing and copying from the board and everything. So these days I am finding that this digit span memory test, I am finding that most of the children are failing in this. Why? Because they're not used to, the home setting. Now they're very comfortable in the home, watching TV all the day, not stimulating their brain. So I am doing some interviews for 10th class, and I'm doing this test for the 6th class students. Most of the students are failing in digit span. That is the outcome of this COVID result. Anyways, moving to annexure 4 and annexure 5, you see that 4, Miss Mumtaz already talked about assessments and everything. I want to speak about the highlights of Endeavor section at Purani Haveli. So this is a very welcome change for us, and very thankful to Miss Asma for all the endeavors she put behind the Endeavor. Anyways, the Endeavor section will have a complete Montessori material section for nursery and from nursery to class 3, I believe. They will have games and toys to stimulate cognition, problem solving. They will have brain gym. They will have music classes and everything. This brain gym will have some effect on something. The music classes will have some effect on something. For example, music classes will help those children, maybe they have this stammering and all, so they will help expand their vocal cords and strengthen their voice and all. So these things. Also, they plan to have thematic monthly project. Every month they will take a theme and work on that, and they will also provide opportunities to take care of the environment. So lots of opportunities there. Field trips, many field trips, and inshallah we'll have NIOS, as Ms. Mumtaz told, National Institute of Open Schooling. We will have a study center there, so children who are not able to for example, I don't like even though I don't have any problem with my reading and writing, but still I don't like writing chemistry. I don't want to write math exam for some reason. I'm not interested, and I'm sure that in my whole life I'll not use social or science, whatever. So for such students also, NIOS is important. It is a elective exam. You can select 5 exams. You can write those 5 subjects. Okay, in the exam you have the opportunity to select 5 subjects and write those 5 subjects, and subjects are also very meaningful and interesting to them. The Endeavor branch will focus on core competencies like collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, conflict resolution, communication, creativity, compassion, and empathy. These are the core competencies majorly worked in Endeavor section for the children. They may also have talent hunt. They may use government schemes and other opportunities to, forward the children. They will also have special yoga sessions for them, and that will benefit the children in meditation and calming down and, gathering focus and attention and everything.
Murtaza bhai, sorry, but I think in the core competency, self-management is very, very important, nahi? That's missed out.
Yeah, I will just forward it to
That's
you.
very crucial.
Self management, yeah.
Yeah.
We have that component. Again, it is not a very exhaustive list here, but self management, we have that component here. I'll show you somewhere. Yeah, self management I will add there with I will discuss with Miss Asma, and I will add that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for reminding. Then we have this NIOS stream and non-academic stream. Now, in Endeavor section, there are some children who will be able to write NIOS, but there will be some children with all the help from NIOS and all the help from everything, they may not be able to write those exams also. Even those 5 elective exams, they may not be able to write NIOS stream and non-academic stream. So such children with severe impairments, but again, even if I have some severe impairment, I cannot be just left alone at home doing nothing, right? So some improvement is needed for them. So non-academic stream, non-academic stream
तो
will
कितने साल हो गए आप लैपटॉप
हाँ तो पहुंची नहीं क्या, मैं ऐसा बोल रही
नीता मिश्रा मैम, आपका माइक खुला है. थैंक यू.
सॉरी.
So the non-academic stream, what will happen in non-academic stream? The non-academic stream will focus on life skills like self-care, grooming, toilet training, taking care of the environment, things like that. Okay. Then we have life skills, cooking, tailoring, shopkeeping, organizing, etc. Functional math, functional reading time, how to read the time, how to see the calendar, basic addition, subtraction, speech therapy. If needed, speech therapy will be provided. Occupational therapy, children with fine motor and gross motor defects. Miss Mumtaz mentioned dyspraxia, right? Dyspraxia means problem with the coordination, eye-hand coordination, muscle coordination, problem with fine and gross motor skills. These guys are not very good in PE or in dancing, so you will be able to identify them. Even I am not very good at these things, so I am also have some element of dyspraxia. Maybe I'm not a good dancer, or very good in rhythmic movements. Anyways, occupational therapy, art therapy, will be provided, and we have plans. Ms. Asma has plans of having a petting zoo there. Petting zoo helps children of autism and Down syndrome to calm down. So ma'am is thinking of having a petting zoo where we'll have small animals there. So that is called animal therapy. And training in social and behavioral skills that is needed for autism. And whenever possible, again, these guys will be, for basic employment skills, they will be trained: punctuality, responsibility, and things like that. Values, virtues, handling of emotions, these things are taught in non-academic stream. In NIOS stream, what we planned is that we have 5 exams in that, 5 subjects. So we have broken down that in this way. Before 12 years, children will grow to the same opportunities and program as non-academic. So before 12 years, apart from their functional math and everything, they will also have the things that are available in the suitable things available to them from non-academic stream. At the age of 12, they will start with, English reading, comprehension, expression. That does not mean they will not read before 12 years. They will start doing that, but intensive training will be starting from age 12, because this NIOS happens after 15 years. So by this time, with all these activities, they will have their portfolio for painting and data entry ready. Okay, at the age of 14 they take, because these exams are not an annual exams, we can demand on demand exams, we can order the exam and then you can write the exam on demand exams. So they will immediately write exam on painting and data entry. Painting is one of the subjects, painting and data entry are two subjects, they will write those things. Next, what they will do, they will study accounting, English and home sciences. Oh, then it takes a year for that. And fifth subject for the NOS could be PE, games, or history. We have not yet finalized. If it is finalized, then we will let you know. PE, we are trying for PE. Fifth subject should be PE. Anyways, the aim is that the children should complete their exam before 15 years of age. Then after that, we can suggest them some vocational training so that they get some vocational job and move into mainstream. There are so many intermediate vocational courses, very nice and very interesting vocational courses. So that was about that. Moving very quickly to table number 5, you have the counselor and special educator details, their timings, work, email ID, and mobile numbers and everything. So you have that here. I am Syed Murtaza Hosseini. I am HOD of Sen and Counseling. We have Ms. Mumtaz. She is team leader of Sen and Counseling, Nurkha Mazar. And we have Sayyida Sakina Begum. She is also a special educator at Purani Haveli. And table number 6. The table number 6, it's a very useful table. It has all the specialists, needed for, helping children with special needs and special education. We have psychiatrist, psychologist, occupational therapist, and everything, remedial therapist, and everything. So this was a very brief, it's a very exhaustive policy. We cannot actually complete that in half an hour or 1 hour. It is not possible. I request all of you to go through that and come back to me or Ms. Mumtaz with emails or WhatsApp message. We are available. And I hope we were able to shine a little light on this. We don't expect you to learn everything but by just attending a session. But again, we request you to go through the counseling policy and get back to us if you have any, questions and queries. Thank you very much. Thank you for patiently listening to me. And thank you very much for
Murtuza bhai, one question. You remember we had these people who had come down last year and they had given us some plans. Are we incorporating this in our online teaching and learning? And
Yes,
where is it put?
these guys from Young India, right? Yes, we are doing
Gee, yes.
we are doing that.
So that is, we don't need to,
Some
I
of the
mean,
sessions that
उसको कुछ mention नहीं करना है कहीं?
we will cover that in our curriculum, counseling curriculum. We will add them because they
Okay.
taking some of our sessions related
Yeah.
to good touch, bad touch. This year they will
But some of them is already mentioned that they are going to take, but I think there was more to that.
basically they will help us with sessions only, ma'am.
Acha, okay.
Basically they will help us with sessions.
Okay,
So
okay.
we
ठीक.
will add those sessions once discuss with them. We will add those sessions in
Okay,
our
okay,
counseling curriculum. That's it.
okay.